All right. I'm here with my dude, Zach Meyer, and we are at Carmichael's open mic here in Dayton, Ohio. Zach, before we start, would you like to list any of your social media info?
Um, I'm on TikTok at Caveman Zach, but I really don't get on a lot of like Instagram and shit like that. But I make a couple TikToks here and there.
That's fair. That's fair. Known Zach for a while, so this is kind of cool. So, first question. How did your first show go? I actually know the answer to this. How did your first show go?
My first show actually went really well. Like, unfortunately, like I really wish that it would went to shit, but it was a lot of my friends and it was a lot of people that I knew already there, so it made my head a lot bigger going into this whole thing. And
You did. He did really well. I was at his very first show. It was he did really well.
yeah, but I would rather have been ground level and bombed that first show. Like any comedian out there that's wanting, or anybody that's out there that's wanting to get into comedy, you want to bomb your first show. Like I honestly think that, because if your first couple shows go well, because it's a situational comedy and it's around people that you know,
Yeah.
then it makes your head quite big. Like, I mean, and then when you go somewhere where you don't know anybody and you try to tell those same jokes and you hear crickets,
Yeah.
it's the worst gut feeling ever.
Yeah. Well, so what drove you to get up there and actually like put yourself through that? Like what drove you to get up and do comedy that time?
Well, I don't know. Like, I always loved stand up, like, as a whole. Like, I always, like, you'd always catch me, like, staying up late as a kid, watching The Secret Stash and stuff like that. And when you were actually throwing on these shows, um, when you were throwing on these shows, like, I was like, dude, you know what? Fuck it. I just want to get up there, 19 years old. Might as well just like try to start something, you know.
It was a good show though. He's talking down about it, but it was a really good show. What has been like your highest or your happiest moment in comedy? And then simultaneously, you don't have to answer this. I always tell this. You don't have to answer this. What was your lowest or your most embarrassing moment in comedy as well?
My highest would probably be like absolutely killing in Vegas. Like, that's the first time that like I actually like killed in front of a crowd that I had no idea one person was in the crowd. That's a really great feeling. But my lowest would probably have to be like, I think it was either my third or fourth time up on stage, and not one person laughed.
That is brutal, dude. Like when you hear the crickets, it's brutal.
Especially when, like I said, especially when you're doing so, like, you think you're doing so well, and like you get that, like, and I brought my uncle to that show. So like I'm sitting there telling him, I'm like, I'm doing really good at this. Like I'm making people laugh, and he's just sitting there in the middle of the crowd, like, yeah, like,
Yeah, thought you said you were funny, bub. Like, what's going on, man?
exactly.
That's always the best, dude. All right, so how influential has your local comedy community or your local friend set of comedians been in your career so far?
Earlier, it wasn't so much. Like, I mean, like, everybody was kind of sparsed out and everything like that. Same with Vegas. When we were out in Vegas, like, everybody, like, it was a dog-eat-dog world out there. Like, nobody wanted to help out anybody. Nobody wanted to do this. That's why I took such a long hiatus from it for so long. Like, I think it was like 4.5 years without getting on a stage.
That's a long time. I went like 2 years.
And that's starting off brand new again, and like that's like legit. Like, I don't care like how funny you think you are, you get rusty. But when I came back to the Dayton scene, I feel like that it's been a lot stronger. Everybody's more supportive. People are giving you more tags. They're wanting you to improve your art, and it's like that's what I get out of it now. Like, it drives me to want to do this more.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, that's like the perfect answer. That's legit. How do you feel like on stage? Like what's your headspace? You know, like what's going on? Like for me, I always tell everybody, it's like I feel like I'm like in the slip. You know, like I'm like in like this weird like ultimate observer. I'm watching myself while I'm in that moment, and it's like the double-edged judge of why the fuck are you saying that? So like what's your headspace like for that?
I honestly think it's just like depends on the day. Like today, like I wasn't thinking about it. I didn't give a shit who was in the crowd. But there's some days like you're just like, dude, like why the fuck am I doing this? And when you go into those rougher crowds, like this is a tough mic here at Carmichael's because if you're,
It's very honest.
it's very honest. Like or any bar really, because like people aren't coming here to just laugh like they are at a comedy club. They're coming here after work, trying to get their beer. They don't want to hear a bunch of unfunny people. So like if you're not funny, they're going to tell you straight up that you're not funny. Like the crowd will tell you, and I've been here multiple times to where it's done that. Yeah.
If there's any background to this, apologies. This is doing an interview in a bar. You know what I'm saying? Open mic shit. This is real. Do you want to do the bonus question, man?
Yeah. What's up?
So the bonus question is what is the hardest part of your struggle and like your personal process of doing comedy?
It's writing, because I do watch a lot of stand-up. I do watch other people stand up. You're gonna like my biggest fear when I get up there is being called a hack, because I want everything that I say to be original. I don't want to absorb other people's stuff and then rework it in my brain and think that I'm coming up with something original.
Yeah.
Because I watch so much stand-up and stuff like that. That is one of my biggest fears.
It's that like that residual like back wave of being a fan of like, hey, and then like, you know, oh shit, did I hear this concept like during the special, or is this like something that really happened because it was a coincidence? Dude,
Because in all reality, this is an art. Like, people don't realize that this is an art. Some people can't paint paintings. Some people can't go and write a song or can't sing. But making people laugh is an art itself. Like, and like, it's hard. And to be really good at it is really hard. I'm not good. I'll tell everybody I'm not good. I like doing open mics. I like doing this for fun. Like, I'm on like the lowest level possible right now.
He's being very humble.
But like, if it goes somewhere, cool. If not, then I know where I'm at. You know, like that, and that's where you need. So not every artist is Michelangelo. You know.
I suck at writing too. I write things down very sparingly, but I have like, you know, like set lists and shit where I'll do that. But that's perfect, man. I suck at writing. That's the perfect answer, dude. Thank you. This wasn't awkward at all because I've known you for years and shit. So thank you again. You want to list off your socials again? I'll put them like right here in my hand.
Well, like I said, I'm usually on TikTok at Caveman Zach. I'm in the works for a couple different other little projects. That's going to be in the near future, but we're not doing anything special right now. I'll just make a couple TikToks here and there.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Thank you. Much appreciated. All right. Up next, I have Calep with the P. That's Calep right here. Lee, Lee. Do you want to list off your socials, man?
You can follow me on Twitter, Calep Lee Comedy. You can catch me right here at Carmichael's Pub with all these degenerate motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Having a good time.
All right.
Facebook, you know.
Are you super nervous about this?
Kind of.
Don't be.
This guy behind me, I just toasted him, so I think he might slap me like Chris Rock got slapped.
We did just do the mic, and there was some smack talkery.
It hurt for them.
All right, let's get this done pretty quick then. So number one, how did your first show go? Like your first, like what you consider your first real show of doing stand-up comedy?
So the first time I did comedy, it was March of 2021, right after the pandemic happened, and me and Jeff Allen did a lot of magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
And we were like, dude, we gotta do fucking comedy. And I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna do it. So I signed up, and then I did like 3 hits of acid.
That's a lot of acid.
I'm pretty big. And about 3 minutes in, the lights started burning me inside, and my timing was off. My material wasn't so bad, but I beat myself up. Everybody else said, that was pretty good, man. I'm like, y'all don't know how high I was. Okay.
I've yet to do comedy on hallucinogens, to be honest. Just weed and alcohol, a lot of alcohol.
I'm Doc Ellis of the Dayton comedy scene.
Number 2, what drove you, other than the shrooms and everything, obviously, acid, what drove you to want to get up on stage and to just want to perform comedy?
I would definitely just say growing up, everybody just, you kind of like, oh my God, you're so funny. Have you do comedy or you try comedy? But really, on a personal matter, my mother, like right before the pandemic, like 2 weeks before everything hit, was like, hey, you're a great dad, you have a great job, but you never did what you loved.
Oh, shit.
And it was deep.
Mom, dude. Oh,
and then
shit.
Mom passed, pandemic hit, and it was like, oh, shit, okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, my parents have never been to see me do a show ever. I have 4 parents, and they've never seen me do a show other than what I post. So that's, like, cool for your mom to be like, do this shit now. Like, that's cool.
Every time I get home, I point to the sky like a baseball player, like, Mom.
This one's for you, Mom. That joke flopped, I'm sorry. That would be me. I'd be like, yeah.
I let your beard down, Mom, I'm sorry.
Number 3, what has been your highest point or your happiest moment in comedy, and subsequently, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, I tell everybody that, what has been your lowest or most embarrassing point of comedy as well?
I would definitely have to say the high points is being at the comedy clubs, coming out to these open mics and busting your ass, for week in and week out, getting the grind, getting your set, and then going on stage where people are paid, like they pay to laugh. Yeah. So you're there to give them what they want, and you're prepared, through all this bullshit, all these practices. So I think that's definitely the high, the comedy clubs, the sold out shows, the energy, that shit, I eat it up like chicken. It's fucking amazing.
I too love chicken. I love chicken.
Give it up for chicken, everybody.
Everybody, just get a leg up for chicken. It's a tasty dactyl, literally, dog. It's the only dinosaur I can eat right now, other than like if I go to like Jungle Gyms and I try to eat like some crocodile meat or something. Like, I'm eating a dinosaur.
I'm eating a caterpillar this week.
Are you actually eating a caterpillar this week?
Is it on sale?
I don't know. I'm Jewish, so you think I'd know this shit. How influential has your local comedy community or your friend set of comedians been in your career so far?
I gotta say, like, the comedy scene for Ohio, or even just in particular Dayton, is tremendous, amazing, nothing but love, support. When you're doing shitty and they have, like, expect better out of you, they will let you know, like, hey man, this is good, but you need to fucking fix this. And get your, put your shirt under your belly, okay, be a professional. Yeah. These are some of the things I had to learn in the first month, so I just can't speak for the love that I have for the Dayton comedy scene, the Midwestern comedy scene, and for weed. Basically for weed.
Weed. How do you feel? That's such a good answer. How do you feel on stage? Like what's your headspace or your thought process? Like what your inner voice or whatever. I always tell everybody, I feel like I'm in the slip, I'm in this where I can see myself and I'm like, what are you doing? And then I'm also in the moment and look at me do this, and so it's I'm always conflict or ultimate observer, but what's your headspace while you're up there?
I think for me, I just try to get a feel for the room and really just understand what the energy is and kind of just tap into what everybody's thinking or what everybody's feeling. I really feel like that's something, that's smart. Like a riff where I'm like, hey, that was fucking something, right? It's hot as hell in here. Just anything like that. So I guess you just kind of I just feel like myself. And I feel at home. And it's just kind of it's like surfing, really, because sometimes you're in a wave and it's like, this is going so great. You're like, all right. and then you get up there, and then you're like, I know I got this. This wave ain't even that bad. Why? And you bust your ass.
Suddenly a shark's like nibbling on your left nut, like, that was good.
I thought I was a good swimmer, and I'm not.
Oh man, that's usually how I go. It's like the shark's like, look at that fat guy. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him.
I need a speedboat.
Do you want to do the bonus question?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun.
What is the hardest part of your struggle in your process to do comedy?
Childhood obesity. Being built like Danny DeVito, it hurts. Hurts my game.
I gotta end it on that. All right, yeah, that's good. Good job.
Thank you so much, Dennis.
Right here,
My friend.
we gotta shake like it's stage hands. Real quick, Caleb, if you could, like, I'll list it all like right here somewhere. What is your social stuff?
You can follow me on Facebook at Calep Lee, Twitter at Calep Lee Comedy, and I need more socials because I'm a piece of shit. Thank you. Love y'all.
Thank you so much, man. Legit.
Thank you, bro.
All right, so
That's just how I do it.
that's yeah, I respect that. So I'm now with Kyle Rogers. I know Kyle for like a year now. He's been doing comedy and stuff. He's kind of newer in comedy. But if you want to, man, go ahead and tell him your social, and I'll put it somewhere on the screen here or something.
All right. I only have one social, Twitter, The Renowned Kyle. The Renowned Kyle. That's it.
Cool. All right, man. Definitely. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, how did your very first show go? Like your very first, what you consider your first real show? How did that go?
Well, my first open mic was, I don't even know how it went, to be honest with you, because sometimes you just go up there, especially my first time, I just kind of did the routine that I had practiced, and I wasn't even sure if I was doing well or if I was doing or not doing well, and I couldn't tell you on that. But the first show I recognized like the crowd and how I was doing. It actually went bad.
That's good. That's good. That's really good.
yeah, and it is really good when you notice that you are doing bad. But overall, my first show, it was just one of those things where I really didn't like actually even comprehend what I was doing yet. I was up there talking. I was trying to like focus on my lines and shit like that.
Definitely. So, what drove you to want to get up there on the stage and perform comedy anyways?
It's something I'd always wanted to do, but when I started doing actual stand-up comedy, you want me to actually speak up louder?
Yeah.
Are you telling me to speak louder?
I'll edit this out unless you want me to have. There's some loud people in the background. Apologies.
Yeah, we are all natural here. We don't cut nothing out. One take, Kyle. No. But no. What were we talking about?
We were talking about what drove you to get up and start doing that first show.
Okay, so what drove me to do comedy is I've always wanted to do comedy, but I've always been a musician. I was a guitarist in a band, and I was always doing entertaining type stuff like that, and I really liked that. But I never really thought about doing stand-up comedy until I had moved to. I was in the Army, got out of the Army. It was 2020. I'd moved to Utah. I was working a job I fucking hated. I fucking hated that job more than anything. I was on a computer all day in a windowless room, and it was shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, I'm quitting this job. So I quit the job. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do stand-up comedy too. I was like, this is it. I got nothing. I worked all that time in the Army to get this clearance and stuff, and I fucking hated the job. So then I was just like, well, I'm just gonna go do this stuff now. So I just started doing stand-up comedy. And I actually turned out I got a really good job at a bank, and it actually started working out.
Dude, that's awesome. That's really cool, man. Damn, that's really cool. So you started doing comedy pretty much in like Mormon country.
I did, yeah. So when I first started doing stand-up comedy, the open mics were only at comedy clubs. They didn't have bar shows, and you had to be in this clique, this like really tight clique there, because there was only people that were going to these shows. You had to email the guy had to select you, and then you had to be put up, and then you had to be in that group, because if you weren't in that group, then you weren't getting on stage.
Yeah, that's a lot of places, man. That's a lot of places. What has been your highest point or your happiest moment so far in doing comedy, and subsequently, and you don't have to answer this, what has been your lowest or your most embarrassing moment in comedy?
All right. Well, the happiest moment is getting laughs every time.
Good answer.
Writing a joke, and then when you go out and you try it the first time and it gets laughs, even though it's not even a polished joke or something you've worked out before, that's the highest high you can get as a comedian. Lowest low is bombing. When you go to a place like, say, Carmichael's here.
Where we are right now.
It's a good mic, ran by good people, but sometimes this is the hardest room in America. It's really hard to get people to laugh here. So sometimes that's embarrassing, it's demoralizing, because you worked hard on these jokes and no one's laughing.
Yeah, dude, Carmichael's is a very honest room. How influential was your local comedy community or your friend set of comedians in your career so far?
Well, the first set of people, my first set of peers were in Salt Lake City. I didn't really feel like that wasn't a place that was conducive to good comedy to me. One club, ran by a clique of people. Those comedy peers, it was hard to break into that group. And I really felt like that they weren't like that. But here, I feel way different here. A lot of people here are really good people. They include you in a lot of things, and it's hard to tell the difference between who's new and who's not new. I mean, on stage you can tell, but like when you're when you're not on stage, you don't really know who's new and who's not new, because the guys are pretty friendly around here. And I really like the environment here. I think it's a good environment, conducive to good joke writing, and the people are talented.
The way that you just described it, if you're ex-military, you'll know what I'm talking about, and you'll know what I'm talking about too. It's like him processing into a new unit and seeing everybody in their civilian clothes first. Right. You don't realize you're talking to an E6, and he doesn't realize that you're just a lowly E2 in processing. And then you guys show up to formation, and you're like, I was getting drunk with an E2. Fuck you, drop. Like dog, I bought you like 15 drinks.
That's exactly right. It's just like that. It's you're faceless there, but then when you get into actual ranks, you're like, oh, there's a hierarchy here. But I think that's good though. I mean, especially off stage here, a lot of the people, they talk to you. I mean, you write, they're always willing to give advice if you want it and stuff like that. So I think the peer group here for sure is really good. And not even that, although I got friends that are really big into comedy as well. They don't do stand up, and they actually have been really supportive and helped me as well. So
that's cool. Yeah, outside perspective from outside the circle of people who do it. Yeah, that's the first time somebody said that. How do you feel on stage? Like, what's your headspace or your thought process sound? Like, I always have like the ultimate observer perspective, where it's like I can see myself, but then I also am like living in that moment. It's like I kind of like phase out, like it goes fuzzy, like I'm in a slip or something, like to give an example.
Right. I don't know. Normally when I'm on stage, I just feel like, I'm just up there. I'm kind of living it. I really don't like there's some guys that are like focused on certain things, or they're doing all this. I practice my routine a couple, 3-4 times before I go out. And then when I go up there, I just kind of just let go, because I feel like, when you're up there, there's kind of more creativity flowing, a little more. You feel the universe. If you're into that, obviously, you feel it. You feel it coursing through your veins. You're like, all right, now this is more natural, because I know my bits. I know the core of the bits. But when I go up there, I just kind of want to let loose a little bit.
I like feeling the universe course through my body as well, but usually it's cocaine.
That's true. Yeah. Normally with me,
I don't do cocaine. No, I really don't.
I've done cocaine before.
Oh, I've done cocaine, yeah. But dude, again, if you want to go ahead, well, actually, no, shoot, I got a bonus question. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Do you want to do the bonus question?
Yes.
So, what is the hardest part of your struggle in the process to do comedy?
Getting out of your own way. If you write. I write constantly. I got stacks of notebooks, papers, and all that stuff. I tell myself, oh, that's not funny, or I won't try it, or I'll write it down and then I never go back to it. But maybe sometimes that stuff is funny, or I talk myself out of certain things. And sometimes those are the things that kill. Sometimes the things I think are going to kill don't kill. Right. And they go out and bomb. And the things I like, oh, that's stupid, that's going to bomb, it actually goes out and kills. So that's the biggest struggle, is actually, trying to find like that nice area of like, oh yeah, this is good. I'm going to go out and try it anyways. You just got to get out of your own. Me personally, just getting out of my own way.
Dude, yeah, that's a very honest answer right there, legit. Yeah, because like you got it. Yeah, fuck. I think you said it best, man. Like, hell yeah, dude. If you want to, man, go ahead and I'll like say your socials. I'll list them over here again.
He already said that at the beginning.
But the renowned Kyle, that's it. Twitter.
All right, man. Thank you very, very much. I look forward to doing more shows with you, man.